Good day everyone, we are the group 5 that assigned to report Ethics of Law. So, Ethics of Law. Ethics is the area of philosophical studies that examine values, action, and choices to determine what is right and wrong. The role of law is expressed by codified legal standards in the United States. And most other democracy, law is spelled out how we'll govern ourselves over countries. Law have involved based on commonly understood societal concept of right and wrong. So, ang ethics, sabi dito, ang ethics ay tumutukoy sa pag-aaral tungkol sa mga value, action, or paglalarawan ng kahalagaan ng bawat aksyon ng mga tao. At pinag-aaralan din dito kung ano ang tama o mali sa bawat aksyon ng tao. Ang rule of law is ito yung tungkol sa mga batas na ipinapahayag ng codified legal standard or mga alituntunin, rule and regulation. At sa mga batas na nag-involve or nag-develop dahil sa kaalaman kung ano ang tama o mali. The following would be example of rule of action. So first, law of intellectual property. Intellectual property law deals with law to protect and enforce right of the creator and owner of invention. Writing, music, design, and other work known as the intellectual property. There are the several areas of intellectual property including copyright, trademark, patent, and trade secret. So, ang law of intellectual property is ito yung tumutukoy sa mga sa pagprotekta sa pagpapatupad ng karapatan para sa mga may-ari ng invention, writing, music, and other work. Dahil ang tinutukoy ng intellectual property ay ang protektahan ang kanilang ari-arian or sariling gawa upang maiwasan ng paggamit o pagpapatupad ng walang pahintulot. Second, law governing freedom of expression. Everyone has the right to freedom of expression. This right shall include freedom to hold opinion and to receive and impart information and ideas without interference by public authority and regardless of country. Law governing freedom of expression, dito from the word freedom, sabi dito, everyone, lahat tayo ay may karapatan sa ating kalayaan at ipahayag ang ating nararamdaman at ang pagbibigay ng pagtanggap ng mga impormasyon or idea. Mapa-public man yan, ay walang nagbabawal dahil everyone has the right to freedom. Third, statutes and law promulgated by Congress. Writing law or system of law that has being formally declared and proclaimed by the Congress. So dito naman is yung mga batas na natin na nakasulat ay formal na dineclare and na proclaim ng ating Kongreso.
Presidential decrees and Republic Acts. A presidential decree is a type of rule of law that is issued by the head of state, a formal and authoritative order having the force of law. A Republic Act is a piece of legislation used to create policy in order to carry out the principles of the Constitution. An example of a presidential decree is number 1832, creating the National Kidney Foundation of the Philippines, whereas the Constitution mandates that the states shall establish, maintain, and ensure adequate social services in the field of health, among others, to guarantee the well-being of the Filipino people. A code of conduct or ethics governing professionals within a particular field or profession. A professional code of ethics offers a set of guideline teams or organizations can use to make good decisions in the workplace. It allows you to set baseline expectations for what is socially acceptable and how professionals should approach problems. Though creating and maintaining a professional code of ethics takes some time, it can help your organization's employees work honestly and with integrity. which can help create a healthier work environment. A code of ethics, or code of conduct, is a set of rules outlining the norms, rules, and responsibilities or proper practices of an individual party or an organization. As an order of sequence, law pertains to any systematic arrangement or sequencing or consecutive progression indicating uniformity of a given set of occurrences. The following are examples of orders of sequence. Computer programming procedures. Procedures are followed step by step. The completion of each step is a prerequisite to the next. For example, a software or computer program cannot be produced without the computer's programmers. Execution of the design conceived by the following several programming steps that are requisites of the succeeding steps. Procedures are mandatory. Each procedure is designed to have specific outputs that leads to the creation and ensures success with hopefully zero to none backlash. Computer applications. In computer applications of whatever nature, there is always a sequence of command and execution that constitutes the law in this case. For example, before you can use any of the various Windows application, you have to click the mouse on your intended feature, which is tantamount to a command, and only then will the machine execute your order. The whole process of computer operation follows the sequential relationship between command and execution. Essentially, the process of having someone in command guiding and instructing others on what needs to be done and what to do, allowing a more systematic and organized approach.
So next, there are 4 kinds of law belonging to the so-called non-jural sense. That is, laws and rules in the ideal's perception. Namely, these are the divine law, natural law, moral law, and physical law. So first, let's move on to divine law. So what is the divine law? Divine law, in its general sense, pertains to the entire system of faultlessness and perfection that God has intended to govern the whole of creation, both living and non-living, the laws of nature and all other laws. Therefore, would fall under divine law as it encompasses and governs not only human action but also the entire universe. So some example of divine law is the 10 Commandments and the Code of Hammurabi. So the divine law was created by Supreme Being. The divine law is a universal permanent, and the divine law guides us to become a good person. So next is the natural law. The traditional view developed by classical theories regards natural law as the unwritten laws permitting and governing nature as rational harmony and ordering pattern of different things and events, without which the latter would be reduced to chaos and disarray. Note that this conception disregards the existing of God as the supreme being who, according to divine law, initiated the faultless sequencing of things and events. So example of natural law. So natural law assumes that everyone believes killing another person is wrong, and that punishment for killing another person is right. Next is the moral law. Moral law consists of moral norms that ascertain and dictate what sort of behavior or conduct may or may not be expressed, or what sort of acts may or may not be performed within a particular community. It is a realm of general recognized and desirable ethical norms and principles that controls and rules human conduct. So the moral law, this is a general rule of right living. Example of this is murder, theft, prostitution, and other beliefs labeled immoral are also legal. So last is the physical law. So physical law or law of nature is sometimes confused with natural law. The two are not the same. The apparent resemblance of natural law and laws of nature is grounded on their correlation with ordering sequence and uniformities of distinct things and occurrence that are relied upon as being constant and regular. Following are examples of human action in computing that are considered as complain with moral norms will be reported next.
Respect for the rights of owner of intellectual property. Building respect for IP, intellectual property, means helping create an environment in which IP can fulfill its role to stimulate innovation and creation. It also means fostering an environment in which the system of protection provides equitable benefits for both owners and users of IP. Fidelity in the utilization of information. The term fidelity refers to a person's loyalty, whereas information utilization refers to the processing of data and information within an IT network, systems, and application. Compliance with computer norms and laws. Compliance is a set of digital security requirements and practices. Following compliance requirement is a way to ensure that a company business process are secure, that sensitive data, including customers' data, won't be accessed by unauthorized parties. Sometimes, compliance is a legal requirement for a certain industry, and sometimes it's an IT security standard or ISO. Honesty in the sharing of information, especially in chat rooms. Above all, being straightforward, open, honest, and possessing the trait of integrity, which are necessary foundations for meaningful collaboration. Open and honest communication leads to a mutual understanding and respect for different perspectives, interests, and needs. Integrity in creating computer programs. It is a notion that encourages privacy protections and avoids the possibility of concealed functionality, as well as having all the program's essential and non-essential information available for the user's approval. Condemnation of computer crimes and abuses. Disapproval and dissent on the act of one utilization of computers in ways pertaining to activities that goes against the laws, misconduct, as well as unjustly used to harm others. And that is all. Thank you for listening.